And welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel, guys. Now, over the past few days, we have been in really upbeat, really positive mood. But as we know, as a Barcelona fan, there's always something there trying to drag us back down. And unfortunately today, I do have some very, very disappointing news. And that news is the Barcelona elections for the new president, which should have been on January the 24th, that has been postponed. And for me, it's an absolute scandal. We're going to be discussing the complete fallout and the situation. It's coming right up, so let's get to it. And just before we do indeed, guys, get started on the election news, just to confirm, of course, that last night it has now been confirmed that Real Madrid will not be our opponents in the Supercopa de España on Sunday after Athletic Club beat them by 2-1, which means that they, instead of Real, will be our opponents on Sunday. And of course, all the build-up to that game is going to be coming up tomorrow, right here on the channel. But if we now start to talk about the elections, because obviously over the past few days there's been plenty of talk about the ongoing process. We've had the preliminary round of voting there, which is basically the first stage. You need to gather enough support from the socios in order there to be confirmed as an outright candidate for the presidency, and in order there to be confirmed as a candidate, you needed to gain 2,257 votes from socios, which, by the way, was all conducted fine. Everybody there was able to vote. That process went relatively smoothly, and as a result of that first round of voting, only 3 candidates were able to achieve that level of support. You had Joan Laporta, no surprises there, the same for Victor Font, and also Toni Freixa has been confirmed there as an official candidate for the Barcelona presidency. And I think when you look there at the results of that first stage of voting, Laporta is the overwhelming favourite. You look at the amount of votes there that he got, he only needed 2,257, but he was right up there and actually receiving more support than Font and Freixa put together. Which, when you're looking at those early numbers, it would have implied that had the elections indeed gone ahead as planned, Laporta most likely would have been our new president. However, despite the fact there they were able to hold that first stage of voting, that indeed the race for the presidency had begun, then, after those votes were confirmed, then there started being talk of a postponement. Because of COVID-19, apparently, there seems to be some confusion on whether or not the election should go ahead on the 24th. Now, number one, this is a scandal that we're even having to talk about this, about an election on the 24th of January. When you consider that the stand-in president, Carles Tusquets, who, remember, wasn't elected, he is simply there with one job. He came in as a replacement for Bartomeu on October the 27th. And like I say, he only had that one job. All he had to do was come in and say, right, this is the date for elections. His only job was to call it. It wasn't to get involved in anything else. It wasn't to start meddling in the club's affairs. He is not the president. All of this power seems to have gone to his head, and he seems absolutely determined to stay in this role for as long as he possibly can, because he delayed the elections. He delayed them and delayed them and delayed them. If you had them at the end of December, if you had them midway through December, we would have had this done. This would have been able to go ahead, but no, he had to delay them there until the end of January, which in the first place is ridiculous. We have a transfer window coming up. We need to plan. We need to get things in order, and to put that there at the end of the month, it was ridiculous even from the start. So now, to be talking about postponing it, it is absolutely shocking. And Carles Tusquets, he should be absolutely ashamed with himself. And secondly, I just feel as though right now they are using COVID-19, they are using the pandemic to find their way around these little loopholes. Because right now, it shouldn't be legal for the Barcelona presidency to go back any further, because that then would take it outside of the time when it had to be called. But they're using COVID to get around that and delay and delay and delay things further. Because let's face it, if they wanted to call these elections, if they wanted to get the people in to vote, they could actually go through their different protocols. They could find a way of getting it done if they really, really wanted wanted to. But the fact is, they don't. They do not want to do that. Now they're talking about postal voting, which again is outside of the club's rules. It'll be interesting to see if they go down that road. But it's just a joke. And I think right now it is interesting to see the response of some of the candidates. In particular, a lot of criticism has gone the way of Victor Font, who actually came out after that preliminary round of voting when he was quite a long way behind. And he was saying then, maybe we could postpone the elections, which I don't think really was a good look for him. But the one thing I would say in his defence is that a few months ago, he wanted electronic voting. And if that had been voted for, we also wouldn't be in this position. But of course, we want these elections to go ahead. And in my view, anybody here who wants to postpone them, they have not got the club's best interest at heart. These elections should have been going ahead. We cannot be without a president for any longer. We are in a mess as a club financially. We are really suffering right now. We need a plan to be put in place. We cannot afford this to be delayed any longer. And I'm just sitting around now. I'm just waiting to see the date when it's going to be confirmed, the new date for the election, and I hope it's not too long. I really, really do hope here we're not going to see it pushed back and back and back, because let's remember as well, there's things going on behind the scenes which could be badly affected by this. You think in particular about Lionel Messi. His contract is expiring, and it still is. Every day that goes by, he's effectively one day closer for leaving the club for absolutely nothing. He can actually sign right now a pre-contract agreement with another club, but he's waiting. He wants to see who the next president is, and we want to see that too. We want to move forward as a club. We want to move towards a brighter future, but first, we've got to get rid of these people like Carles Tusquets, who are dragging the club down, who are working there with ulterior motives. We need somebody to come in with a plan. We need somebody to come in there with authority and bring this club back to its feet. I am really interested, guys, to get your thoughts on this. I think many of us were looking forward to these elections. We were looking forward to that date just to have that positive feeling back, just to feel as though, yeah, now we are going to move again in the right direction. And I think certainly it is so disappointing that as Barça fans, we keep being put in this frustrating situation. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. When do you see the elections happening? Do you agree? Do you disagree with this postponement? And who are you hoping right now is elected as the new president? Let me know all of those thoughts down below. It's not the news that I wanted to bring you today, but of course, we've got to cover it here, and hopefully it'll be announced in the near future. I will see you tomorrow, guys, for all of that build-up ahead of the Super Cup on Sunday. Hopefully, Barça can put a smile back on our face in that game. I'll see you then, but until next time, as always, Visca el Barça!